Making succulents with your Cricut Explore Air is one of the easiest beginner projects there is. I'm going to make them out of felt using the Cricut felt, paper, cardstock that has print on it, different prints of cardstock. And I'm going to use this paper here because it kind of looks like a metal grid, so we can put all of our succulents in a frame and make it look like they're growing there. So I'm just going to cut this out so it fits the frame. All right, here we are in Cricut Design Space. We're going to go to Images, and we're going to type succulents in the search bar. And we're going to scroll down. We want a 3D succulent. There's several to choose from once you get down to the bottom here. These ones are the 3D ones. And I'm just going to pick that one and click Insert. And that's the one we're going to use today. And we're going to use it to cut all of our succulents. I started here with the medium-sized succulents. I made those 3.5 inches, and I cut them out of the printed cardstock. I also cut them out of the felt. I didn't show it here because I had to change my blade to the deep cut blade to do the felt, so I didn't think you would want to see that. Then I cut a large one out of the 4.5 inch size, so that would be the height. I changed it to 4.5 and cut one of the large ones. And this is just showing you that I'm cutting that large succulent using the printed cardstock, which I notice a lot of people don't use for flowers, but I thought it would look pretty. And then to finalize this, I cut out 2.5 inch succulents, and those would make the small ones. I decided I wanted 2 small ones for this frame, so I just clicked the 2 and apply, and that made it so that it would cut 2 out of the same piece of paper. So, and this one here is paper, so it's lighter, it's not cardstock, and I really like how it has a lot of dimension even though it's one color, so that's why I picked it. I thought it looked very cactus-like. So here's what they look like when they're on the mat, and once you get them all cut and you've taken away some of the negative paper. And you have to be really careful as you scrape them off the mat. You don't want them to, break or bend. So I'm just going to take all of these off of the mat and stack them so that I have one flower in each stack. And that just makes it easy so I don't miss pieces or put pieces in the wrong order. So now I've got all of my succulents cut out, and I'm going to start the assembly of them. Okay, so how you start to assemble these is you take a pencil and you're going to just roll each of the petals around the pencil. This is a really, really important step in doing any of the Cricut flowers or succulents or anything like that, because flowers are not flat. The petals are almost always curled in some way. So we're just going to go around and we're going to curl all the edges of each of the flowers. Once you have your petals all curled, it's time to glue them together. So we're going to glue them with the biggest petals on the bottom, and the first petal you can see I'm pulling it over. It kind of has a slit, and it's meant to go over. It gives it kind of a cupping shape. And I put that one inside of the largest petals. And then I'm going to finish by putting the smaller petals on top of it. Make sure you offset your petals. You can see that we're not putting them right on top of each other, so it's going to make it look like it's got several layers. And we're just going to continue to do that with each of the pieces. We're going to fold it up a little bit. You can see I'm folding the petals up just a little bit. This just makes them pop up a little and gives them more of a three-dimensional shape. And then I'm going to glue the center, and again I'm going to offset the petals again so that it's creating this really nice, fluffy looking succulent. And I'm going to do that with each piece of the succulent. And the very middle part, the very bottom of it, is going to be this tiny little stem. And usually I just fold those up. You can see that I'm continually messing with the pieces, just trying to get them so that they have a nice look. And that's the most time-consuming part of making succulents. They're very easy to make, but if you want them to look good, you just have to take the time to bend them, to curl the edges, and to find ways so that they look realistic. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm just making sure that each one of the petals looks really nice. It's popped up and it has a nice three-dimensional shape. And I'm getting down to the little tiny bitty flowers that go right in the middle, the little leaves that go in the middle, or the stems. And so you're just going to want to very carefully put everything in there and you just play with it, make it look right. And that's your finished flower. Your succulent has a nice three-dimensional shape. You can see all the different petals and they're curled and it looks perfect. Now you can see I'm just going along and I'm doing the same process with each of the different flowers. So this is a great time to binge some show that you're enjoying and just put together the flowers one at a time. I like doing that just so that I don't lose track of them. So we're just going to quickly put all of the different succulents together the same way that we did the first one. Now that our succulents are done, I'm just going to arrange them on my piece of paper that looks like the mesh grid that I'm going to put in a frame. And I kind of left this here so that you could see that it takes a while to figure out what looks best. I'm really changing things around and trying to decide what I like. And sometimes that takes a little bit of time. In the end, I decided on this kind of half circle grouping of the succulents. So now that I know where they're going to go, I'm just going to simply glue them to the paper that I've decided to have as my background. I'm just going to get each one of those glued on here. I decided this would look great in a frame, but you could put it in a box, a centerpiece. You can use these succulents. You could put them in a vase or a pot. They work really well anywhere, but I just decided that I was going to frame these. And that's the finished craft project. I hope that you try these beautiful succulents. Hey, don't forget to sign up for our newsletter to get access to our free, huge project library. Tons of craft projects, tutorials, patterns, all for free. And in your first newsletter, you'll get invited to our chat and craft sessions, where we help you get your craft projects started and help you find time to finish them. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe.